Because if you don't do that, you're gonna make it that much more easy to get caught in a bad situation by some agent, all right, or some asshole looking to infiltrate or looking to get something on you, all right. You're gonna make it that much easier for you to get caught up in a situation, all right. That's why, like I said, you're dealing with these certain sites. It's best to just be as low key as possible, all right. Don't just make it that easy for anybody to just know that much about your personal life, all right. Now let's go to Matthew 7 and 15. It says, beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but are inwardly are ravening wolves. Like I said, you're going to have brothers, all right, who claim to be prophets, who claim to be men of the Lord, coming at you with a shalom, all right, you know, blessing you in the name of the Father and the Son, you know, giving it Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahshua Barakatah. But really, they ain't brothers, all right? Not, you know, a lot of the time, they may not be with a cap, and they may be literally trying to get information on you, all right? Like the elders used to speak about, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago? In fact, it was the elder Taza Dakba who specifically spoke on that. You know, brothers, when it was everything was more centered on YouTube, you had brothers putting up pictures of themselves as their display pics and all that, and putting your family all out there on certain networking sites. I remember that. I remember that show. Right? You're supposed to be low key. In fact, he brought out Psalms, the 91st chapter. All right? In fact, let's get that real quick, because that just hit me. Okay? You're supposed to be low key in this thing. When you're dealing with sites, you know, it's best to just deal with brothers as much as possible. But, you know, you may have, you know, certain friends you deal with, whatever. You know, I mean, it's not my business. But like I said, try to deal as low key as possible. That's the best way you could do, because if you don't, it'll make it that much easier to get caught in a situation. So like it. I'll just read this first verse here. Psalms 91:1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. What's that mean? He that dwelleth in the secret place shall abide in the shadow of the Almighty. Meaning, if you're being low key, all right, laying in the cut, okay, you're not just putting yourself out there, you know, to be seen. You know, you're laying low. You know, you ain't gotta be. Like I said earlier, you ain't gotta be. I'm the big bad super Hebrew Israelite. You know, just lay low, because while you're in this thing, if you put yourself out there like that, like I keep saying, you can get caught up in a situation that basically could have been avoided had you, you know, lay low key. All right. So now let's jump back to Matthew 7, and I'm gonna start at 16. It says, "Ye shall know them by their fruits." So like ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but every corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth forth not good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them. That's why I said earlier, you know, a good example to use, I only deal for the most part with camps. If it's a brother I recognize that's in a camp, I'll deal with that brother. Because, you know, scripture says, by their fruits you shall know them. Brothers out there speaking the word in truth, out there coming, you know, prophesying week in and week out, you know their fruit, all right, for their works, and they're continuing in this thing week in and week out, month in and month, year in and year out. They're continuing in this thing, so you know their fruits. That's why, you know, me personally, like I said, I only deal with them. But you see somebody, you know, like I said, going back, you're gonna have brothers continually coming into this thing. But if you see somebody you're not sure of, you know, they ain't doing nothing. They may have some pictures up, you know, they may have a certain attitude about them, that, you know, doing worldly shit. You might need to leave that person alone, all right? Or if you just don't know nothing about them, leave them alone, because 9 times out of 10 they're just a worldly nigga, all right? Or it could be somebody this walking about on the internet as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour, right? Trying to get at brothers, okay? Now, let's jump to 1 John 4:1. like I said, this video, you know, is not going to be too long at all. But let's read this. It says, 1 John 4:1, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of the Most High, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. All right, the latter part of that scripture is heavy because it says many false prophets are gone out into the world. So you're gonna have a whole lot of so-called brothers that are so-called coming into this truth, but really they're false prophets. They're not brothers. All right, that's why the scripture says you got to try every spirit. Don't believe every spirit, but try every spirit. You see that 9 times out of 10, you see that with the cats out there dealing on the streets and the highways and the byways. We see it all the time out there. You see some asshole like this weekend. You see some asshole come up. He look like he listening. All right, he looks like he's nodding his head and agreeing with everything that's being said. But then, you know, brothers start talking about a certain subject. Like this weekend, you know, we got on the pork issue with this little dude that was sitting there. When we started attacking that pork real hard, he had to chuck up the deuce and leave. Because we tried his spirit and we saw that he wasn't right. And he left. As soon as we started attacking that pork, he left, all right? And there's been plenty of other occasions where we've seen stuff like that go down with people who will come up and act like they're listening, but they're not. And it's the same thing when you're dealing with so-called brothers, you know, not to the true brothers, but so-called brothers out there on the internet, i.e. Facebook, YouTube, MySpace, Daily Motion. You got to carry that same attitude. You got to try them spirits, all right? And if the spirit's working with you, you know, you'll see, oh, all right, you know, he's cool. But the spirit, and at the same time, the spirit's working at you. If there's not a brother, you'll see, oh, nah, leave that dude alone, all right? You got to watch out because the scripture says many false prophets are going out into the world. So you got to really you got to keep your eyes, your spiritual eye open, all right? And keep your P's and Q's about you, because if you don't, you can end up having you get to a certain point, you end up having a damn infiltrator in the camp, you know? All right? Or just amongst you in general. So, you know, to the brothers, just keep, you know, stay focused and stay aware at the same time, all right? You gotta be aware of these assholes out here, these many false prophets that are going out into the world, okay? In fact, let's go to Sirach 6. Sirach 6, verse 7. It says, this is Ecclesiasticus and the Apocrypha, you know, for brothers. But it says, if thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. Alright, so like I said, just because you see like a Yahweh Shemi Al-Shah Barakatah, you know, blessing, you know, may the Father and the Son bless you, alright, or Shalom, alright. Like I said, an edifying picture, you might have a slavery pic or something up when dealing with the internet. Just because you see that, you gotta check them out first, alright? And don't be hasty to say, oh, that's a brother, Shalom. That's a brother, Shalom. You know, don't do that, okay? Says, excuse me, verse 8, for some man is a friend for his own occasion and will not abide in the day of trouble. So when the time comes, all right, you get caught in a situation, all right, he ain't gonna be there for your help. He ain't gonna be there to back you up or nothing. He's gonna leave you there to hang dry, basically, leave you high and dry, all right. And the scriptures also says that he's gonna be right there at the cause of that trouble, all right. It says, verse 8, and there is a friend who being turned to enmity and strife will discover thy reproach. So some of these assholes basically put stuff about your personal life out in the limelight for brothers, for everybody to see, okay? You know, we all deal with certain things personally in our everyday lives. You have assholes that infiltrate you that you think they're a friend. All right, but they're just getting in there to look. Oh wait, this brother they're talking about 13-year-old, 14-year-old girls with titties and asses. You know, brothers are certain. You know, I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but we all know what we all talk about when we ain't out there behind the camera or in front of the camera, okay? And then you got some asshole. Next thing you know, if it got to that point, where's his brother at? He ain't a cap. Next thing you know, he's on the computer basically putting all your shit out there.